24 years now. It is indeed a pleasure to be part of this session, and my focus in this session would be on an area which might be on your minds most of the times, which is what is in the offing for me once I pass out and take my first step into the information technology industry. So let's start by first looking back 3 years ago when you all were at a crossroad and were seeking clarity on which course to pursue and wanted to be sure that you opt for the right professional course and post completion embark on an exciting and fulfilling professional journey. And the best way to decipher pros and cons of a professional course is to understand its objectives in totality. I'm sure that if you all recapitulate the objectives of the course, you yourselves get a lot of insight in terms of the various career opportunities in the offing for all of you. As you're already aware, there are numerous specialization streams available whilst pursuing MCA. Though you might not have been well aware of choosing the intended one at that juncture, however, I'm sure you all would have done the requisite due diligence before you choose any one amongst the options you currently have. Because it is imperative that you need to be well aware about the program, its offerings, its specialization streams, its usefulness, probable job opportunities, and most importantly, It is imperative that we all need to be well aware about the project, its offerings, its specification streams, its usefulness, probable job opportunities, and the most importantly, if the option is best suited for our interests. First of all, let's put all your fears at bay, which must be lurking on your minds at this juncture, because Master of Computer Applications is indeed considered to meet the rising demand for qualified professionals in the field of information technology. As you must all be aware, the program places a lot of impetus on providing a sound theoretical background as well as good practical exposure in the appropriate areas. Thus, there must have been adequate balance in imparting comprehensive knowledge with equal emphasis on theory and practice. The curriculum of the course definitely provides a modern industry-oriented education in applied computer science. And because it covers various aspects of computational theory, programming, algorithm, etc., it results in producing trained professionals who can successfully meet the demands of the information technology industry. As most of the institute lay a lot of impetus on-the-job training, it not only gives the students insight into the workings of the IT world, but also gears up building IT professionals for their forthcoming professional journey. Now let us focus on the career opportunities after MCA. So I'm sure you all must be having something set in mind and must already be knowing of these opportunities. And as I've interacted with students in the past, most of you want to just focus on development work. Well, there are different roles, there are numerous opportunities available. I'll talk about them in detail. However, nevertheless, only programming or coding is not the most important. So there are different areas where people can focus on and work on, and each role has its significant role to play in any project, in any organization. So at a juncture when people get recruited, you should go with an open mind in that organization. This is your innate abilities, your strengths. They will decipher which stream to put you in terms of technology or in the area of specialization. So I think you should take that opportunity with a very, very open mind rather than being very closed on a specific thing that you want to do. So now moving to the focus areas and career opportunities after MCA. First of all, it won't be exaggeration if I say that MCA is indeed one of the most hottest career options available today. That's because with an MCA degree from a reputed institute under your belt, there are indeed plethora of job opportunities available in the market. That is because there is a wide scope of MCA in both private as well as government sectors. MCA postgrads are hired both by organizations of repute like NTPC, GAIL, BHEL to name a few, and service delivery organizations of repute such as Accenture, HCL, Infosys, to name a few again. You all will also find exciting opportunities to work in large to mid-size organizations having an in-house system departments as well. Yet another dilemma in your minds would be which kind of organizations would give you the opportunity to learn and work on exciting projects which add value to the organization you work for, as well as your customers or your business users. Well, the opportunities which you find in a PSU, service delivery organization, and large to mid-size organizations having in-house setup will have their own pros and cons. Employee benefits in PSUs will be numerous. Opportunities of working for big IT giants would enable you to learn a lot about quality processes, give you opportunities to work for customers of repute, and also open tremendous opportunities to work abroad. However, in most of the cases, working for in-house setups will enable you to work on automated solutions from ground zero. That is, give you an opportunity to map manual processes addressing pain areas and ability to paint the canvas afresh. You all will have to take this call based on an opportunity in your capable hands at that juncture. Now let's shift our focus in terms of different roles that can be in the offing. It could be the role of a software developer, which enable you to automate a manual process, enhance a legacy application, or a system to a newer set of technology stack, or for that matter, enhance a live application with new feature offerings using various software development life cycles. You may also get an opportunity to work as a quality analyst. As I mentioned a little while ago, please keep your mind open in terms of opportunities. Now, quality analyst's role is as important as that of a developer. This role is best suited for associates who have an eye for detail, a good grasp of system or app's functionality, and play a very pivotal role in the app or system going live, which won't be possible without a quality control stamp by these set of individuals. In fact, this role or related work can become even more interesting when one starts using some automated testing tools instead of carrying out manual testing. However, this happens over a period of time. Whenever you step in and start your career as a quality analyst, you start with manual testing, and as your domain knowledge and your expertise increases, you can gain expertise in some automated tools which can be used for testing. In fact, I have in my career seen a lot of quality analysts who started their careers as testers and have grown into fabulous test leads and even business analysts, because the key is to gain have a very good grasp of the functional or the domain knowledge. Yet another interesting role is that of a support engineer, who are the lifeline of any system or app in live or production environment. They play a pivotal role in ensuring that the systems are up and running, and in case of breakdown provide a quick resolution such that business as usual is not impacted. And mind you, in any organization, business as usual getting impacted means a lot of loss to the organization. Again, these people don't undermine what they're doing. This role is again very important for an organization. System analysts also play a very pivotal role as they bridge the gap between the clients, customers or business users and the software development teams. They study the current business processes, decipher the pain areas, and work hand in glove with the design team to provide alternate solutions which not only map with the requirements but also addresses the pain areas and chalk out a well-defined scope boundaries. So at this juncture, a question will lurk in your mind: how do I know if I can fit into this role? Well, at this juncture, it is difficult to say. However, when there is a job opportunity and you start working for an organization, you will realize one thing: you could be a developer, you could be part of a quality analyst team. Over a period, you will realize you have the strength and an ability to understand requirements in totality. You have the passion to understand a domain in totality and have good writing abilities, good communication skills. So this can be a very good career opportunity to pursue. Another exciting opportunity is that of a software application architect. Again, this is over a period of time. It can't happen from day one. because this role plays a role which is integral to any organization's development team, because this role architects the system, rolls out technical guidelines in terms of standards for coding tools, platforms, et al., which in turn is followed by the developers. So you start your career as a developer and you find that you can gain a lot of strength, and you know a lot about technology is your passion. You learn new technology stacks, and you have a vision where you can envisage how the system can be architected. To start with, you can assist architects, seasoned architects, and over a period of time can be groomed to that role. Software consultant is yet another popular career option today. It enables a person to be either self-employed or work for a consultancy firm. A software consultant's primary responsibility is to evaluate a business, its related processes, and provide appropriate software solutions to enhance business growth, efficacy, and efficiency. Again, some people can find opportunities as hardware engineers. Here you get an opportunity to work with support services group of an organization, which is responsible to ensure that operations run seamlessly without any hiccup or glitch, or else production downtime can really hit an organization big time. Systems developer or engineer, again you move into this role gradually. Because here you get an opportunity for writing codes and designing programs at the operating system level. So to kind of envisage that at the beginning of the career I'll get this opportunity would be exaggeration. So over a period of time, when your technical abilities are at that level, do you get a opportunity to write codes and design programs at the operating system levels. But this is a very, very exciting opportunity indeed. Another I think area where I have also worked, I took a sabbatical, and I was sharing this with Preeti, and I've taken a sabbatical, and most of us do at times due to pressures in our personal life. At that juncture, I utilize those 3 years in doing technical writing, and this technical writing can be done when you have a technical background plus you have an ability to write. So you don't have to limit yourself to writing just white papers on writing on certain topics. It could even extend to writing technical books for some organizations. So organizations of repute like NIT, many a times they have customers abroad, and they need these technical books in place to carry out courses. So people over a period of time, you might start as writing user guides to start with. But this could again be a very good career opportunity over a period of time, where you are able to put forth your creativity, your ability to write well, and get going as a technical writer. Web designing and developer is yet a good opportunity again these days. If you have a creative bent of mind, and a very good aesthetic sense, this can again be a good career opportunity for you. This will give you an opportunity to develop and maintain websites, design company logos, help the marketing team prepare advertising materials, etc. for an organization. Yet another opportunity, which is that of starting a new venture. Well, this can be taken up by those of you who have an entrepreneurial bent of mind. Most of us don't have it. However, this could be not a very easy path to take. It would again take time, and this would be post getting some exposure in your field of interest. This could turn out to be challenging as well an exciting career opportunity for some of you who have that zing in you, and some probable ventures could be in the field of education to start with. There are career options in the government sector as well, and there are good career opportunities in fact. And it would help if you keep on looking for these job postings regularly. Also, you all can try for a UPSC exam to get into the administration sector of Government of India. Now, once you land up with an offer and join an organization, initially you all will undergo a few weeks of training. So you should not assume that you will be deployed on live projects. Most of the organizations have a well-defined curriculum in terms of training freshers. This will enable you to not only get acclimatized with the tools, technologies, but also processes, standards, or for that matter the functional domain as the case may be, such that post a pre-training learning curve, you can start working in a watch mode. What do I mean by watch mode? So you start working in a project with a mentor, watching over you in terms of what you're doing, and then you can gradually start contributing to, life projects and hit the ground running. All of you might need to, put in some extra at this juncture, and you will be, told to work on different roles and areas in the beginning, and then gradually steer towards specialization in a specific field. At this juncture, you all must endeavor to give in your best, and efforts at this stage will pay huge returns over a period of time in the long run. Though initially you will begin your career as a trainee, or for that matter a junior programmer or a junior quality analyst, and start as a single contributor to the organization, however, gradually opportunities and experience will enable you to grow at a very fast pace and over a period of time become systems analysts, team leads or project leads. And it does not stop here. The growth prospects are high up to the top level management in many reputed organizations. Another thing that I want to mention, and hope you'll carry that thought back with you, is in today's world, don't curtail or limit yourself in just doing your job. It is imperative that to grow and leave a mark in one's area of work, one has to go an extra mile, which could be something more than just limiting oneself to one's key area of responsibility. Your contribution to your organization should not only create value in your area of work, but also endeavor to take up or shoulder something extra, which could be in the form of conducting training. So when you join as freshers, you were trained. More batches come to your organizations. You must volunteer, we'll train. Because when you will train, you will learn about new technologies, and when you share, you automatically grow. You could do some innovation for the organization in terms of technology, write white papers. Now this is something extra, and you must actually, wean out this extra time. It helps. And contributing to recruitment drives. Today, recruitment drives, I think in the coming week it's happening here for, the seniors. So over a period of time, please volunteer and, participate in the recruitment drives when you are a little, grown in your organization. And it makes a difference. Or for that matter, contributing to the community services which the organization might be spearheading. Most of the organizations spearhead for that. So just don't curtail yourself to your work area. You have to carve a niche for yourself such that you stand out at your workplace, not only because of your work, but also for the extra contributions that you all make for your organization. And over a period of time, you all will realize the more extra responsibilities you take, the more empowered and capable you all will become. Lastly, yet another dilemma on your minds must be on the emerging tools and technologies and your preparedness for the same. Well, technology can sometimes seem like a runaway train that is barreling down a winding track at immeasurable speeds, gaining velocity, and more you resist it. Those who are not directly involved with technology can feel like helpless passengers swept up by the unstoppable momentum of a train that is driven by a minority of techies, but affecting a majority of the population. The technology train will forge ahead regardless of what you do. But if you rush forward blindly, you might just jump the track and end up in a ditch, and if you resist too much, you will fall farther and farther behind as you try desperately to keep pace with it. Well, learning and gaining knowledge is a never-ending process, and especially in the information technology industry, you always have to be prepared for gearing up and keeping yourself abreast with the new technology developments and trends. Don't try to absorb the entire technological spectrum at once, or you are going to be overcome by the sheer amount of information available. If you obsess over technology and keeping up with it, you'll stress yourself out and end up accomplishing little. Take your time and focus on what will work for you. your projects, and your customers in turn. Technology has no terminus. Forging ahead blindly doesn't equate to progress. Progress requires more than forward motion. It requires foresight and a well-defined goal. Those not accustomed to the speed of technology can find it confusing and overwhelming. But it doesn't have to be. It is possible to keep pace with the technology train and perhaps even enjoy the ride without getting derailed. My co-speaker Dinesh would now touch upon the topic of new emerging technology trends, how you can keep pace with it, and in turn enhance or showcase your current skills better. I would like to conclude this short talk by thanking you, my friends, and take this opportunity to wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And lastly, probably I'll sound a little philosophical here, please bear with me. No matter how challenging the circumstances you face, please strive with the resilient spirit to persevere through all and show everyone what you're made of. I really mean it. Only when iron is heated in the flames and pounded, it becomes a fine sword. Ride on the wings of hope, the wings of idealism, and fly courageously, summoning all of your strength. Go, press ahead. And at all times, whatever happens, never lose that pure sparkle in your eyes. Thanks.
Thank you, Sumita, and good morning, students. So, how is everyone? Good? Okay. Can I have the slideshow as well? Okay, thanks. Okay, so students, all in MCA, right? How many of you would like to become a programmer? Raise your hands. Okay, most of you. What about others? Any suggestions? Which technology you want to go to? Which field? QA. Okay, QA is one. Anyone for DB, database? Okay, that's good. System analyst? News for you, it will take a bit of time. Any other field which might be a bit different, you think? Sorry? Okay, so let's see what we have here. These are the fields which you can look for after doing MCA. Designing, there are two levels of designing. One is system designing, other one is your web designing or the application designing. So you can opt for that as well. How many of you are aware of that? You're aware, okay. Application software development. Software development obviously you want to go for. Enterprise resource planning, that would be something which would be coming a bit ahead. You won't be able to start it right away, but that is one of the opportunity which is pretty good. Computer networks, no one of you wants to go into networks? Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, good, okay. Here, so these are just the topics what you can look for, but what I will be doing is I will be going for the ninth option, which is data mining and warehouses, which is related to the database, how you can use that. That is one of the emerging technology what is coming up very rapidly, and in market it is being used a lot. These are your career opportunities where you have the option to go for. This is something I would be recommending as going for specialization. Why I'm saying that going for specialization is being a company. I would not be looking for someone who just knows everything. Being an MCA, you'll be going with your CV that you know C++, you know .NET, you know PHP, you know Java. You'll be putting everything in the resume. but that is not something what I would be hiring for. If I have to look for a CV, I would say you are good in everything, but what is your focus on? In which technology you have made a project, in which technology you have hands-on experience. So after your semester you must be getting 6 months training. In that training, that is very, very important that you do your project, because there is another round when you are coming for the interview that is called machine test. If you are giving a machine test, obviously you will be judged on the practical experience, what you have done, what you have worked on. And the moment you will feel that, bad news for you, won't be selected. And it would be continued if you will not work hard there. Hands-on experience is something what companies give as well. So you can be hired as a fresher, but there is a good news and bad news with that. Good news is, if you are in top, let's say 10, 20 or at least 50 in your college, you can be selected, or if you are very lucky. But if you are not selected by the company within campus and you have to go for an interview, then you have to know how to work on the technology. In any way, even if you will be going to the company, there also you will have to work on the machine. There also you have to work on the technology itself. You have to give the hands-on experience. So very, very basic and very, very important, you have to focus for the specialization. Specialization is something what your interest is. Don't think that everybody is going for software development, so I'll be going as well, because that would not work out. If you're good in QA, go for QA. If you're good in analyst, go for analyst. But you have to be sure that you have to go there. It's not like you're following someone else. Here we are talking about specialization of data mining. In how many of you must be aware with the terminology data mining? How many of you are aware? Okay, do you guys know that why it is used? Why it is so important these days? Any one of you can stand up. You have the mic there, right?
Sir, data mining is a technique through which we will be extracting the knowledge out of the data warehouse.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And why do you think it should be very important in coming technologies?
Sir, actually the data is getting so large and humongous in quantity, so they need a technology or a platform through which they would be like able to extract the main things, the context on which the customers and the prospective customers which would be coming,
Okay,
they would be able to focus on that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, he's absolutely right. And data mining is something which is getting very, very important for every field, whether it's related to IT industry or non-IT industry, because data has to be ready in every field. Even if you are going for some sales, if you are going for construction, if you are going for marketing, the data has to be available for the companies to construct a strategy